Hey everybody, this is Andrew Martin from Pixelits.net, and I'm here with Supergiant Creative Director Greg Kasavin. How are you doing today?
Doing great.
Very cool. Now, you're here today at PAX EAST with, Bastion, a game that came out about 9 months ago, just give or take. How has it been for Supergiant since the release of Bastion?
Yeah, it's been really incredible. Actually, it's like this is, I think for pretty much all of us, this has probably been the best year we've ever had. Just because none of us have ever worked on something that so many people have loved us as much as this. So we're just day in, day out, we're just really feel incredibly grateful for the support this game has received. Because it started pretty strong when it first came out in July, but it just kind of kept going. When it came out on Xbox Live Arcade first, and then on Steam and PC about a month later. And yeah, the support, people just kept telling their friends to play it, and that was really incredible for us. It's our first game as a studio, and it really reflects, our values as a team, the kind of stuff we want to create. So it's just a huge vote of confidence, and it means that we can, go on to make another game, and hopefully another game after that, and so on and so forth, which is the outcome that we hope for.
Yeah. Now, as some of you may know, Greg, you used to work at GameSpot.
Yep.
Now you're on the other side. Yeah. How has that been personally for you?
Yeah, it's been a wild roller coaster ride, I have to say, because I've actually, I don't know how many, there are definitely other people who used to work in the gaming press who moved on to the development side, but in my particular case, I went from GameSpot to Electronic Arts, where I was a producer / designer type person on Command & Conquer, and I worked at 2K Games for a year on the publishing side, and now I work at a really small studio, making Bastion, so I've seen kind of all different aspects, and I've wanted to make games since I was a little kid, and I knew, I didn't know that I would ever get my chance because I wasn't much of a programmer or anything like that. So when the opportunity finally came up, I felt like I had to take it or I'd always regret it, but I sort of went in with eyes wide open knowing it was probably going to be rough a lot of the time, and it was. It was, yeah, there's a lot of weird, it's just a crazy time for the game industry in general, and I think all game developers feel the effects of that at various stages. So but I feel incredibly lucky to have met the people I work with now. I met Amir Rao, who's right over there, and Gavin Simon are two guys I worked with at EA, who are the co-founders at Supergiant. So if not for these guys, none of this would have happened, and I wouldn't have had the opportunities to do the stuff that I've wanted to do since I was like 8 years old, which is creating stories for games and creating these worlds and stuff. So yeah, I could have never imagined that life would take these kind of turns for me, but I'm very thankful that at how things have gone so far. I will continue to do my damnedest to just try to make the most of this, because it's hard to even have these chances in the first place.
Now, one of the interesting things that's here at the group at PAX is the prototype of Bastion. Why don't some of you talk about that?
Yeah, it came up as a spur-of-the-moment thing to bring. We knew we weren't going to have anything new to show, so we sort of half-jokingly thought, why don't we bring something really old, which is the first prototype of the game made in the first 4 weeks of development, when it was just two guys like getting the very, very basics of the gameplay, trying to figure that out. So there's all the artwork is stolen from D&D books, and like some of it is even taken from Zelda, and it's all temp art that they knew they were going to throw out. But we figured most of the people visiting us at PAX are going to be people who are familiar with the game and have hopefully played it and enjoyed it, and they might like to see kind of its humble origins, because we really want to be transparent about the development process and kind of help to show what it's really like, and that these things, they may look all slick when they're done, but they start off really ugly and really crude, and it's only like one step at a time that they get better and better. I know a lot of people at PAX, they're probably like me, and they love games and they think maybe they want to make them, and I think seeing something like this can maybe encourage people a little bit that it's not like a totally hopeless thing, that maybe you can start small, and as long as you can make something and make it better one little bit at a time, that you can eventually get to something that's pretty good.
Yeah,
I guess, but it's like, I don't think anyone's going to mistake this for our finished game. And, wow, the graphics are terrible. It's like, we think people understand what they're looking at when they see this stuff. And yeah, it's cool to show, because you never get to see it.
Now, we at Pixelits, we actually picked Bastion as one of our games of the year, and one of the big reasons, other than the art and the music, was the storytelling. Now, you actually wrote the story.
Yeah, that's right.
Bastion. What was that like?
It was amazing. I mean, it's like total. It's the first time in my life, I think. Well, I don't know. One of the only times in my life where I'm like, I just want to keep doing this forever. Like, I don't want a different job. This is what I want to do. But I didn't know how it was going to go over, and I was very open to the possibility that if people didn't like it, I would need to find something else to do. But thankfully, people, the response was generally really good, which is like great. I get to keep my job, but it's like I feel so strongly about the game's ability to tell a story in like a unique way, that being able to tell a story in a way that only a game can do it was something that was incredibly rewarding for me personally, and then all the more so, seeing a positive response to that. And working with Logan Cunningham, who's the narrator of the game, he's such he just like channeled like whatever kind of emotion I thought should be behind the words that the narrator was saying. He channeled it perfectly, and I was just always so like moved by his performance. It was really incredible. So it was just a really unique opportunity to work, and then we got to record so much because he was literally roommates with our audio director for much of the project. So we got to like iterate on stuff over and over until it felt just right. So it was really a once in a lifetime thing for me to get to do something like that, and I hope to keep going. I really, my favorite games, a lot of my favorite games are ones that have like a strong story component, and so I tried to do the same for this game. I will keep doing my best on that front.
Now that actually brings me up to my next point. Logan, he was Ruff's narrator. What was the process of writing his dialogue? Because it changes all the time.
You mean how do you mean? Oh, like
I mean, like as the player's going along, commenting on things. How do you come up with what he's gonna say?
Well, so it's like our process was so I did all the writing, and Amir, who I mentioned before, he basically serves as my editor. So it's a really like tight kind of feedback process. But the nature of our narrator is that he tries to like bring in the most amount of meaning in like the shortest amount of words. So we just like needle every single line of narration. It's a pretty painstaking process to get to the point where we record. But we always I had the high-level idea for the story. I had it all outlined in terms of like the major moments in the plot, but I wouldn't actually write it until we build the levels. So we'd build the levels, and then I would write directly to the moments that happen in the levels and like line them up with the actual story outline. And we built the game serially, so the beginning first, the ending last. So by the time I got to the ending, I was really, really excited because it was the ending I had in mind, from the beginning, and to finally kind of execute on it felt really good. And then the feedback we got was great. And then in terms of like the reactive stuff, we try to anticipate as many like player behaviors as possible, like what players will be able to do. We like never repeat our gags either, so we'll try to keep it unpredictable. And then through playtesting, we also observe what people actually do, and then we'll sometimes write new narration content based on it. We see people like doing something over and over, and it's like, oh, we should have them say something about that. So we tried to fill the game with that kind of stuff so that the story felt really personal.
Now, actually, without going into spoilers, very close to the end, there are some really big decisions.
Yeah.
When did it come up where you were like, all right, I want to make the player actually? Because I stopped.
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't know what to do.
That was like where the whole that was right there at the kind of that was at the very beginning. Like that idea was there kind of all along. Like I always wanted it to build to that moment. That's why I'm so happy that it's been well received, because it's a chance, and again, without spoiling anything, it's a chance for the player to reflect on the experience that they've had with the game and decide what they want to do. And it's a really, it can be a really kind of empowering moment, I think. And again, back to what I was saying, I think that's one of the things that games can do uniquely from a narrative standpoint compared to other media, that they can sort of put the power in your hands, where you're not just a spectator. This really is your story, and what you make of it is yours to decide. So we always wanted to have that moment. We knew it was going to be kind of tough to pull off, but we just kept working at it until people told us they thought it was good, and then we decided we were done. So
now you're coming up at the 1-year anniversary, and is Supergiant Games, do they have anything in the works for that anniversary?
We better get talking about that. We don't just yet, but I've actually thought about it a couple of times, and like we should do something. It's like, because because again, we're just so grateful for the support that we've received, that we definitely want to commemorate the occasion. It's certainly a really important occasion to us, because we wouldn't be here right now if things had gone differently for this game.
And basically, on the final note, is Supergiant Games working on anything right now?
We are kicking around a lot of ideas and keeping busy. That's for sure. I mean, we definitely, we intend to keep going as a team, and we would like nothing better than to continue making games that can kind of surprise people and hopefully leave a lasting impression on people as well. Just all the Bastion really reflects the kind of values we have as game makers. So we're glad that people like this one, because there's so much more that we want to kind of explore in that direction. So I'll be as curious as anyone to see what exactly we come up with. It takes us a while before our ideas can kind of coalesce into something that makes any kind of sense, because we start, like I said, we don't start with like a coherent idea necessarily, just a lot of different ones, and see what sticks. But yeah, like I said, we're keeping busy, so hopefully we'll get